So there's this YouTube video that's super popular right now of a guy who made Guitar Hero using only a guitar, which got me thinking, how long would it take me to learn the guitar? Then I came back to reality and thought, how long would it take me to make my own version of Guitar Hero using only a game engine? And it turns out about 45 minutes. In this video, I'll walk you through how to build a working Guitar Hero style game, including drawing assets, creating a randomized note array, a hold and strum input system, and a beat timer that will only work with 120 BPM songs, all within GameMaker, a free game engine you can download right now. For free, I don't work for them, they refuse to make my checks out to cash. And we're gonna do the whole thing in under 50 minutes. Oh, also, if you're into game dev content or indie game stories, please consider giving this a like and sub. It really helps out a lot and lets me know to keep making more of this kind of content. Okay, let's get into it. This is how to make a Guitar Hero style game, using only a game engine, in 45 minutes. Okay, so let's open up GameMaker, select new game, blank game, give it a project name, and I'll start the time as soon as I click let's go. So let's open up the room, rename this room main. Well, let's say room start. We'll start with room start. The size will be 800 by 1200. Let's open this up, find where we are. Okay. We'll change this grid to be 50 by 50. Then we want to make some other rooms, right? So we'll duplicate this. Say room main. And duplicate one more time. Room end. Okay, so with those in place, let's go ahead and get some fonts. So the first one will be font, say title. Okay. So all of these will be Jersey. These come from Google Fonts. Many of them are free to use in your personal or commercial projects. Just make sure you check the license. Yeah, Jersey. And the font score will be size 60. We'll do one more for text. Again, Jersey. And this will be size 24. Okay, I guess we'll go into our sprites. So the first one we have is like a background sprite. This is going to cover the entire area. Come in here, take the paint bucket tool, make that black. Now we're going to turn on our grids again. Let's make them bright pink, bring down the alpha. This is a magenta that we'll be using a few times. It helps to, just helps to see. It's a odd color, so, you know, if we made it gray or something like that, it might be harder to make out. So I think we're going to start 100 in and then do these every 100. And I'm just kind of trying to hit that line. I think that's about right. They don't have to be perfect, but whoops. They should be as close as you can get. Let's see, 1, 2. What did I do? Oh boy. Something looks off. Start there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's pretty wide, but I think it's about right. Okay. So the next sprite we have is our buttons. These are, you know, the Guitar Hero buttons, frets. I don't know what they're called. I'm going to be using terms incorrectly all throughout this, so I apologize if you are a music person. Yeah, again, I'm just using this as kind of a placeholder, and I want to take this open circle tool and just starting like maybe a couple in, like 1, 2, maybe one down. kind of drag this out to, again, 1, 2 in. And we're just kind of making the buttons a little wider on top than the bottom. Then we're going to try to connect them in a moment. So yeah, I think that's good. Come in here at the lines. And you can use whatever colors you want for this initial one. We're going to change out the colors later. I just picked something kind of... It's a color I wouldn't be using again. And it's a little maybe annoying. So I would remember, you know, to change it out. We're just going to delete this inner circle here. That gives us a nice kind of button shape overall. And yeah, let's start with maybe a color that we would use. So we'll take a green here. I'm just going to kind of test it right there. That's about the green that I want. So I'm going to come in here and darken it. That'll be the edges. Then select this green again. Just lighten it just a little bit. That can be the top. It's maybe a little too bright on top, but I think that's fine. We'll use this closed circle tool, come in with a gray. Just kind of make something on the top here. Right, like that. And then maybe just give it like a little, well, let's pull one in the middle here. And then I'm holding down Shift to make a circle. And I'm just kind of like giving it a little flare on top, maybe. Yeah. You can see down. Yeah, I think that'll work for what we're trying to do. So we need a few of these, right? 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this first one, I'm going to fill with just that annoying color. This is the 0th image index, and this will allow us to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for all of the colors. So we're just going to load kind of, you know, a bad color in there. So again, we know that that's not being used. So let's go, I think it's green, red. Take that red, lighten it for this, then darken it for this. And I think up next it's yellow. So yeah, just that bright yellow. Come in here, brighten it for the top, darken it way down, even more. Yeah, we want to make sure all of these have the same kind of dark value. That's like the outline. And then I think it's blue. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, same thing, lighten it up. And then darken it. A little too dark. And orange. Let's see, what's a nice orange? Yep, okay. Then again, just and maybe this way. Then okay, cool. And then there's like a color when it's been selected, right? When you're like holding down the button, and that's kind of this bright blue. So we want to get this pretty much as bright as possible while still kind of maintaining. Yeah. So by making the outline, by making them all kind of the same value here, by making the outline value lighter on the last one, it'll really show that it's being selected, and we'll see what that looks like soon. Let's finish off the rest of our sprites. Let's just sprite hitbox. And then yeah, we're just taking that same bright magenta because we're going to fill this in and we want to make sure we drop this out. Then a placeholder we'll use once. If you end up wanting to expand this, you might end up using the placeholder sprite a bit more, so make sure to include that. And then we have this last one, which I called sprite read, and I learned that I'm pretty sure it's actually a fret. The little things that go down in Guitar Hero. Yeah, and we just want to take a line and make sure it's like right in the center there. And we're using this, the second brush on here. Pretty sure it's 2 pixels thick. So we're just using that as a standard for everything. Yeah, I think less than 10 minutes in and we have all the sprites. Okay, one more thing is we're going to use sound for this. Let me see. I'm going to drag in a sound. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, the Caterkiller's Jam OC Remix. This is from Overclocked Remix. It's a great resource for YouTubers, streamers. It's not free game dev music, so I can use this while we're doing an educational video to kind of refine your tool set and all that kind of stuff. But please don't take songs from Overclocked Remix and put them in games and put them on itch, or just don't do that and say that I told you to, because I'm not. So yeah, as always, please check the licenses on the fonts, on especially music that we use, because you probably can't use it. I try to make as many things as I can available. Maybe I will release a song for this. What am I doing? But yeah, for this game, I timed it out so it should work for any 120 BPM song. And there will be some randomness to it. It's not, this is a quick game. It's not fully fledged out with all the notes correctly in place. There's a little bit of randomization to it. We'll get into all that. If this becomes popular and people want to see how to turn this into more of a full-fledged version, we can do that too. So we're going to start with an object initializer. Let's just make these two now, actually. Object initializer and object controller. These are the two most important objects that you can make. So we want to make sure that object initializer is the first object in room start. And we want to make sure that object controller is the first object in room main. I'm just going to make these big so that I know that I put them in there. I can go and see. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's start programming this in here. We'll start with this. I didn't end up using a difficulty, but I kind of programmed it in a little bit. So if you want to expand using that, I'll be like homework, So we're going to use a two-dimensional array. There's a trivia tutorial that explains this a little bit more, but it's an array that will contain an array that is the beat that the note appears on, 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and then like the color of the note, right? Blue through orange or green through orange. And it saves those beat number, comma, note color. And so we're going to build out the array that contains that information. What is this for? Bar I equals 0. I is less than. Oh. Yeah, okay. So we're setting up a for loop for this I, right? And it's just a variable that we can use. So next node equals I times I plus 8. This part right here is just telling it to run green the green note for the first 4. It kind of like leads people in. Guitar Hero did that, you know, it was a little bit easier for the first few. Okay, we can just copy and paste this. And that just gives it like a rundown of the notes. So it's, you know, sets up the first 4, sets up the first 8, and then for the rest of it, we just want it to run kind of a random thing, right? So I times global difficulty plus 16. And that's just telling it to run a random number, pick a random number 0 through 4, add 1 to it, right? Because we're doing 1 through 5, and that'll set that. And then, no matter what it is, out of here, we want to add to that global.notes are. Okay. So the initializer is initializing an array that contains the notes data. And the reason why we do it here in an initializer event is because everything that we're doing in the main is like frame specific, right? We're doing it like on a beat. So we want to try to hard code as much as we can there and have anything that's running in for or while loop stored somewhere else, because those take place over multiple frames, or they can, right? Because it's running. And so it creates a timing issue between the two. And in general, if you're running into timing issues with, I don't know, a controller object trying to check a bunch of states of a bunch of objects during one frame, it's really honestly not going to work in GameMaker. At least that's been my experience. Just for obvious reason, right? But there's always ways around that, and mostly it just comes down to making sure that you're storing the code, running the script in the correct place. So right now I'm just kind of I'm just like typing out the start screen. Yeah. And these numbers, like, where am I getting these 150? Why am I drawing it 150, 100, 225? As I always say, this is why I make the grids like 100, 150, so that I can come down and count where I want the X and Y to start. Okay. So we've almost got the instructions out. So right, like Guitar Hero, you have to hold the keys, G through L is actually what it is, I think. And then you strum with the spacebar. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think we just need a step event for this. If mouse, check, button released. I think I'm just going to run this to see if I have any syntax errors. And I do. Looks like I misspelt global dot difficulty. Okay. Would you believe that's not the first time I've made that mistake? Okay. Keyboard champ, start, controls. Perfect. Easy. Takes us to room main. So we can start doing that. Oh, the exciting part. Here we go. So the first thing, let's open up room main, come in here. It's hard to see because I have the time. I'm not going to move that, but Where is this? Background layer. So I'm in background. Then I'm going to come into sprite and select my sprite BG. Ooh, that's a little off. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong layer. Duh. Okay, so there we go. We're back to our grid of 50 by 50. And yeah, that looks much better. So, yeah, we're... Okay, let's start with our controller event. Our create event and object controller. So we can come in here. We're going to start setting some globals. This way, when we create the other objects later, they're already made. So this goes back to that hard coding thing I talked about. I'm going to make a global for each of the buttons to see if they're being held down, right? To see if they're being held down, and then you strum, and then that's when it gets, the points go through if there's a falling note there. And like I could store all of this in an array and then do like a while loop to see what's being pressed, but that's just... That's not intuitively the way GameMaker wants to go. It wants to count things where they're taking place. So green pressed takes place on the green button, and we're just going to have a global that checks that. I don't even know if I'm going to use all of these, but why not? We're going to write a quick function. This is for the score, to add extra zeros to the end of it. Do you like that? Is that good? Okay. This is kind of long, but it's just going to take global.points and like figure out how long the string is, and then say if it's not as long as we want, determined by length, which is the other argument we're passing through the function, then just add more zeros. Yeah, it's actually really... It's like what you see is what you get with this one. Oh, and we have to return it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, it pads the score, right? It adds zeros to the end of it. We give it the global.points, and it's like, okay, I'll take that string and add more zeros to it. Yeah, we're also going to give credits. Wrong one. Backslash to escape special characters. In this case, the quotation mark. And then, yeah, let's play the song. So this is just checking if it's playing. If it's not playing, right, the exclamation point. If audio is playing, is not playing, then we want you to play it. Oh. I'm going to change the name. That's not descriptive enough. Sound song at least makes sense. There's other arguments here. Audio play, sound, 1, 0. That's like a priority and then loop thing. Yeah, okay. So we're ready to move on to the step event. And here is where we run the frame information. So if frame beat counter is greater than 0, oh boy, frame beat counter minus minus, else beat counter plus plus, if beat counter mod 2 equals 0, which is just a really fancy way of saying if it's even. It's saying if the remainder of beat counter divided by 2 is 0. And so yeah, we're saying every other beat we want to spawn object read, which is actually a fret, I'm pretty sure. Do we have that yet? We don't have that, but we will, and then it'll work. Okay. So, once we spawn the read, so the two-dimensional array thing, right? We're picking up the note counter and then like the 0th place, which is, that's over an object initializer, which is this, right? This beat. So we're looking for the beat number here. And so if the beat counter and this times 100 thing is just a fancy little thing I did, making sure that this starts at 100 and they go 200, 300, 400, because then we can kind of go off of their number or image index or whatever. Speaking of which, I didn't spawn this yet. Yeah. Oh. Var new note x. Var new note. And then again, yeah, we're just running the numbers 1 through 5 because we have the image index set up so that these run through 1 through 5. The places where they fall, this, red falls on 200. All just kind of intuitively set up to make it easy. Okay. Oh, and then after all of this, we have to increment the note counter. Oh yeah, and so this is the if else loop. And so we just want to make sure we reset this part of it as well. Here we're going to use that function to pad global.points 5 spaces. So, add in extra zeros so that it's 5 long always. I think that should be plus 16, but whatever. And this is just saying if there's more beats, if the beats have been going on longer than the array length of the notes, then go to the end screen because we're out. Which isn't necessarily the way that it works, but if you want to fix that, you can fix that later. Pretty much this is just a way of ending the game for now. So here we're drawing the score. And we're also going to put in the like credits information, the song we're playing, who it's by. And we're using draw text X just to make sure it goes to the next line. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all we need for the controller event. I think, or the controller object. I think we might be ready to move on to our buttons. So we should be able to do this pretty quickly. If we come into sprite button, so create object button green, then add a create event for it. You want to make sure its image speed is 0. Its image index is 4. Is that right? Image index should be 1, I'm pretty sure. Because the image index of sprite buttons, right? We're making the green one first. Then we have those globals we set up earlier, right? So if keyboard check, we want to use direct. Oh, did I do this right? We start with G. So I don't know if people put caps lock on or not. I just feel more comfortable making sure it's covering. It's just checking, right, if the G button is being pressed, if it's reading the string G. What do I do? Keyboard. Did I not put... I feel like that's one too many, but if that works, it works. I see what the problem is. Okay, so if keyboard check direct G, big G or little g, then change the index to 6. That's what makes it look like it's been highlighted, and change green press to true. Else, if it's not being pressed down, then we want the image index to go back and green press to be false. Okay, so that's all we need for both of these. We just need to copy these, duplicate them for each one. So red becomes image index 2. Image index 2, red pressed, yellow is 3, yellow pressed, and like, yes, could I have made some sort of array or some other way of reading through these? And yeah, but then it's less hard-coded, and we want these things, we want to make sure that it's everything is going off every frame. It's not having to like read through and check. It's just checking that one thing. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to objects read. Let's start putting in the things that, so we can check. So object read has sprite read. Its create event just has a depth of 8. Did we set a depth for, whatever, it's fine. Is it fine? It'll be fine. Okay. So step event, y plus equals global.move speed, and then if y is greater than, we just want it to move down, and if it's past the room, we want it to destroy. Okay, almost done here. So we have object note falling. The sprite is sprite buttons. We set its image index in the controller event. I remember this now. Okay. We're just going to drop its alpha just a little bit. Okay, now we get into the copy paste. So you like that? Okay. Green, red, yellow, blue, orange. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just checking right up top. If the image index matches the thing that's being pressed. So if they're like in the right spot compared to each other. So you're selecting the right note, basically. Yeah, okay. Same thing we did for the other one. If keyboard checked pressed VK space. So this is the strumming, right? This is what controls everything else. We want to see how far it is from just go ahead and make this real quick. Feels kind of weird not to have this here first. So yeah, we're going to set up this hitbox, right? Maybe we should just, while we're here, start setting this stuff up. What is it first? Green. Oh, no. Okay. Let's come in here to sprites and just make sure these origins are set to middle center. Middle center. Not that one. Middle center. Maybe middle bottom. Or bottom center for this one. Okay. What was I doing? Let's go into room main. Just kind of start dragging these out, I think. I'm going to put them at the 900 mark. Pretty sure that's where they go. Okay. So green, red, yellow, blue, orange, right? And then on top of these, maybe we should make this hitbox a different color. Let's make this yellow. So back in room main, and see the hitbox should just kind of fall over all of them. Yeah. Right. And then as long as sprite hitbox, that Y is in the middle and this Y is in the middle too, maybe a little bit up. I feel like it's more where people would press it. Then we can come back to object not falling, right? Okay. So yeah, find the absolute distance between y and object hitbox.y. Yeah, you do that. Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, we're setting up the different areas, right? Good, nice, okay, perfect. Getting a little dicey with it. Oh boy. I can feel myself reaching the home stretch. I always make more errors. Especially, I want to make sure I have this part right, because then I think I just copy and paste this, right? Global.points. Yeah, okay, so we can just take this and just keep upping the distance, right? If it's 50, then the points is 70, and it says nice. Yeah, so it's 25, 50, 75, 40 points. It's okay. And then just else. It says bad. Oh, and then if this is right inside here, if yes, then destroy it, right? Then they scored the point, so destroy. Yeah, I'm definitely missing notes for... So let's just kind of... Okay, we're back. What pause? What splice? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm in caps now. Yeah, we need the text to pop up, right? That's like an important part of Guitar Hero, or Keyboard Champ is what we're calling this. Is like, you get it right, and it's like, great, perfect. And they kind of like run into each other if you get a bunch of them. This is just saying, you know, go up a little bit, bring your alpha down. When your alpha's disappeared, destroy yourself. Come on. You said that, right? Yeah, okay. We have maybe 2 objects left. I can feel it. Okay, let's go for the end button. Yeah, we do want a placeholder, I think, so that we can just draw it out. The create event. Yeah, drop that image alpha out. Oh yeah, and stop the audio. That's an important part of it. And that's the only part of it. Everything's going to be white, so we'll just set that up top. Yeah, we're just drawing the end screen like we did the first screen. Okay, I think after this, key up. Oh, mouse left released. Let's just go ahead and check. There's probably going to be some syntax errors, so I will have my finger ready on the time. This is okay. Come in here, place it like right here. This is room end, right? Say 3 in on the sides. Drop it like that. Go back to room main. Oh, we need to put the read up here. Okay. Let's run it. I can't really have my finger on the time because I'm doing this, right? Oh, man. Oh, do I have... Let's turn audio on so we can hear that, but turn it down. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's not good. That's immediately... Oh, okay. I got this. Oh boy. So green here we have G, right? Red needs to be H. Red, yellow, J, blue is, I'm gonna say those together, and orange is L. Okay, here we go. We're close. Like that. That's moving a little too fast, but we're there. We're so there. I just need to call time on this. This needs to move down 0.1. If text alpha is less than or equal to 0. It's even more incorrect. Okay. Text alpha equals 1. If text alpha is greater than 0, text alpha minus equals 0.2. Yeah, that was fine the first time. I don't know. That's it, I'm calling it. I don't know, what are the faces I'm supposed to... I'm not very good. I just got, this is supposed to be 0.05, I bet. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry, I got into it there. So yeah, there's like a bunch of things you could do. You could change difficulty, which makes the notes come out faster or slower. You could also like build a side app that would, you could press the keys where you want them to go and it could load that data and give it to you in the output, and then you could use that the first time you play. You could use that to like make multiple songs. I don't know, there's a bunch of fun directions this could go. Please let me know if you're interested in seeing anything like that, or if you have a game idea that you'd like to see me do next. I had a lot of fun making this one. Yeah, I think this is a good example of the kind of stuff that GameMaker can do. So yeah, please tell your friends if you like game dev and you like this content, because it really helps a lot. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions or you run into bugs, just reach out and we can work through it together. And please remember to give this a like and sub, it really helps out so much. So what's up? What's next? You want to do another tutorial? How about a video that explains an indie game so you don't have to play through the whole thing? Still here? Yeah, so you just pick one of those videos and it's just gonna pick one randomly now. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. Thank you.